yesterday's game?
I was encouraged the way everybody hung in there and kept playing hard, and I thought the defense did a nice job in the first half. Obviously, they got a jump ball on us, at the end of the half there. But, Tyndall played at the right tackle. That's his first game playing. And I thought EC ran real hard. I don't know how many yards we ran for today, but I thought we got the run game going a little bit. But there's still a lot to improve on. There's no doubt about that.
I thought what Lasco's run was like Tagovailoa was in there on the left side.
Yeah, he probably was.
Is that, are we going to see that?
That means he's playing this year. Yeah. No turning back now. You get on there for one play, you're in for the season. So he's playing.
A couple times in the second half, the Southern Utah team just sort of marched up and down the field to score fairly handily.
Well, the first drive they did for sure. A lot of dink and dunk stuff, a lot of short passes and rally to make tackles, but they kept the sticks moving and kept converting. And, obviously, that's something that you don't want to happen. And but they executed well. You have to give that quarterback a lot of credit. He's got a very strong arm and a quick release, and he's accurate. Put the ball right on the money. Made some key throws. He back-shouldered a guy. Steve had the guy covered right in his back pocket, and he back-shouldered him, threw a nice ball there. So that quarterback's a good player.
Is there any update on McCain's injury?
On McCain, he had a shoulder injury, and so we'll get an MRI on it and see what the results are with that.
What about Richard Rogers? He came out of the game.
Same thing with him. He came in for X-rays and then come back out.
Shoulder.
No, it's his foot.
What were you thinking, Jeff, when it'd been going back and forth a little bit, and when Mark Anthony intercepted the ball and ran the length of the field and gave you a little bit of breathing room, what was your sort of emotional reaction to that?
Well, we were still had to keep the pedal to the metal. Still wanted to go out and execute and drive the football. And I think they fumbled after that, and we kicked a field goal. We didn't do a good job. We missed that's a drive I think we missed CJ on the right side on. Need to capitalize on that field position right there, because after the interception, then they had a fumble, so we got 2 turnovers in a row there, and so it would have been nice to capitalize on that. But the thought still then was to continue to do things, move the football, and execute, and make sure we were continuing to get reps so we could improve.
Can you put a percentage or a degree on how much improvement has to take place against these next two opponents coming up?
Well, there's quite a bit. Yeah, there's quite a bit of improvement. That Southern Utah is a good football team, and but it's not. The improvement needs to come with what we're doing ourselves. We cannot shoot ourselves in the foot and be successful. So that's where the improvement comes from. It's the second week in a row we got a late hit at the very end of the play. Linemen going down trying to block people, and you can't. There's no such thing as playing snap the whistle anymore, because if they don't blow a whistle and lineman doesn't know, they have to see that the guy's down. Because if they don't blow a whistle and you hit somebody, you're going to get called for it. So there's just too many times that whistles don't get blown and guys are still playing. So we have to do a better job of recognizing that, because we've had two critical penalties there. One last week early in the game, I think the second play of the game, and this week as we were driving, that was a positive play there. So, but there has to be improvement, no doubt about it. But I think game time situations help us improve, and so we got to take the lessons out of it.
What did you think of Maynard? He was 17 for 23, but he did have the interception, and it seemed like he had a touchdown to Stevens on that 3rd and 1 play. You overthrew him.
Missed a couple easy ones. Missed Stevens. The guys, when you're open, you got to hit them, right? And so obviously, you want to hit him there. We had a swing pass to the left that probably would have went a long way. that we overthrew. So things like that, we got, repetition and continuing to be sharp with that is really important.
Chris Harper had another really strong game. Is he sort of exceeding your expectations?
He's doing really well, yeah. And he made one play that I was really impressed with, very physical. He put his shoulder down, and not a big guy, put his shoulder down and bounced off somebody and spun down the sideline. He really did a nice job. He felt terrible about the fumble, obviously. But with young guys like that, you need to learn by how you're going to get hit from the side. That people are coming fast and they're going to put a licking on you. So you need to make sure that you're expecting that, and that and he didn't have the ball out. It wasn't like he was carrying it loosely. He had it wrapped up, but he took a pretty good hit and the ball came out. So, that's a learning experience for him. He felt terrible about it on the sideline, but it's just, it's learning for young guys. It's the first go round.
You played Anderson and Sofele quite a bit today. Were you happy with the results of that?
Yeah, I thought EC ran really hard. CJ got in there for a few runs and did a nice job. So yeah, it was, I don't know how many carries each of them had, but both those guys were good backs and hard runners and dependable.
Yeah, Jeff, he had several open field plays, the interception return, the punt return, and the long run by Lasco. What does that say about the potential for your team if you can get those kinds of situations and your ability of those individual players to?
Yeah, I thought it was a great interception by Mark. Read it really well. It's great he kept his feet because he was stumbling there for a while. But yeah, that was obviously a very good play. Keenan, I think we all know what Keenan can do, right? I mean, that was an unbelievable return. He dropped the ball and picked it up and made a few people miss, and in the open field made a guy miss. We all know what Keenan can do. He's a special player, without a doubt. And then Lasco, you could see kind of what we've been talking about with Lasco. The speed that once he hit it, you could see the burst there. And but again, we got to hang on to the ball. He put the ball on the ground early in the game on a kickoff return. And, thankfully we got it back. But, all those things, anytime that happens, they're lessons. But it was nice to see him get involved and have a big play like that. He played very well on special teams, too. He ran down, made some plays. Him and Michael Lowe are doing a good job of running down, making plays.